Group 7 ions are perchlorate, chlorate, chlorite, hypochlorite, and strontium. Strontium, the one's so easy, we already put it on there even though we didn't have to know it yet. So we won't even need to talk about that one today. So let's go back to what we already know. The one in this group that you need to learn first is chlorate. Learn chlorate. Learn that ClO3 -1 charge is chlorate. There's no easy way about that. You just have to know that. You know that it has chlorine because of the chlor, and most things that end in ATE have some number of oxygens in them, and so you just need to remember that chlorate happens to have 3. And so there are already some rules that you know now that you should know, we talked about before. If one thing is chlorate, then if you drop one of the oxygens and keep the charge the same, then the name becomes chlorite. So the rule there is get rid of one of the oxygens, the name goes from ate to ite. This is a general trend. It works for nitrate to nitrite. That's stuff we've already learned those. I taught you that trick before. And phosphate to phosphite. Now notice that the number of oxygens is the number of oxygens changes. 3 doesn't always mean 8. In this case, phosphate has 4, but nitrate has 3. There is no quick rule. You just have to memorize the 8s. So if we know that chlorate is ClO3-, then we can figure out that chlorite must be ClO2-. And so that's not even a new trick. We should know that trick already. So today we're going to learn the tricks for, well, what if you extend that? What if we take another O off of there? Instead of ClO2, we just have ClO1 or just ClO. The charge remains the same. And then up here we can do the same thing. We can add an O. So you can see we have a continuum here. We have Cl and some number of O's, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the charge remains the same on all of them. But there's a trend. The number of O's goes down 1 every time. And you can see what the prefixes are. They are per and hypo. So if you go down an O, it's ite. If you go down another O, it's hypo as a prefix. And then you put the stem on chlor, and then ite. Now that hypo word means, it's a prefix meaning low. It's from the same word as hypoglycemia, low blood sugar. And what it means is that you have not very many or low number of oxygens. It's even lower than normal. So you have kind of norm. Think of the 8s as the normal, and then the ites are kind of deprived. You've lost one of your oxygens, gone from 3 to 2 in this case. And then the hypo means you've really been deprived. You've taken all but one of them away. Now, what about per? Where does this per come from in the excess oxygen case? Well, that's actually short for hyper. Same basic idea as hypo. Hyper means elevated, like you're hyperactive. I think a kid running around with his, making all sorts of craziness. He's hyper. He's hyperactive. He's overactive. Well, what's hyper about this ion? What's it got too much of? Oxygen. So learn the 8, take one off, it's an ite, take another one off, it's a hypoite, add one, and it's hyper, but we don't really say the high, we just cut it off with just per. So that's where the perchlorate comes from. This trend exists in the iodate family, in the bromate family. You'll see it several places. So this is a trick that you can actually learn, 15 or 20 ions just from knowing these few relatively small number of things. So that will be ion quiz number 7. Be ready for that. Ion number 6 didn't go so well, so hopefully we'll right the ship on this one.